The Edmonton Oilers were the first team to clinch a conference final bid this season, and this team looks very different than other teams for the Oilers in years past. This year, obviously, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl have led the way for them, and they've been unbelievable, with McDavid having 17 points, 3 goals, 14 assists, and Draisaitl leading them with 5 goals, 11 assists, and 16 points. But this season, they've been able to win multiple kinds of games. In years past, they looked like they were only able to win the games where the score is 5-4 and they scored 3 goals in the second period and just won a shootout. But now, this team has been able to win 1-0 games and 6-5 games. And in game 5 of the second round series against Vegas, they won 1-0, and Stuart Skinner shut the door, and the Oilers defense played unbelievable and was able to secure a 1-0 win in overtime after Kasperi Kapanen, a waiver wire pickup earlier in the season, scored the game winner in overtime. And that's another area where Edmonton has been able to thrive this season, in that their depth scoring has come alive. Corey Perry has 5 goals, 2 assists, and 7 points, and he has recently turned 40 years old during this playoff run. Connor Brown and Evander Kane each have 4 goals, 3 assists, and 7 points. Adam Henrique has 3 goals, Ryan Nugent Hopkins has 3 goals, and Zach Hyman has 3 goals. And this team looks unbelievable right now, both on the offensive end of the ice and on defense. And they've been playing so hard in front of their goaltending that even a guy like Calvin Pickard, who's never been a superstar in the NHL, had a 6-0 record and was leading them to wins before he ultimately got hurt. And now, ever since Stuart Skinner came back, after losing those first 2 games in LA, he's been 2-1 against Vegas and had back-to-back shutouts. He's had 67 consecutive minutes of shutout hockey against one of the best teams in the entire NHL, in the Vegas Golden Knights. And it's been really nice to see him really be able to bounce back and really steal a game for the Edmonton Oilers. And at times, the Oilers had no business in winning that game in overtime in game 5, but between a really good defensive effort from back checking from their forwards and from their defense, and that combined with a Stuart Skinner performance that might have been his best ever playoff game, this team has been very deep, and they played an all-around game to grind out a win. And in other years, that might not have been a win for them, where they could actually go and grind it out and actually get it done when it mattered the most, especially to clinch a playoff series. Too many times we've seen the Oilers crumble in the third period, and you play an amazing first 2 periods of hockey. You have a 0-0 hockey game, but then they go and give up 2 quick ones to start the third period, and you're digging yourself a hole. But Edmonton was able to keep composed and really grind out a win in a very important game, because if Vegas got that win going back to Edmonton for game 6, this series could completely shift, and Vegas could have taken a lot of momentum back to Edmonton, and who knows what happens from there. Another huge factor of this Oilers playoff run has been the reemergence of Darnell Nurse, and he's played absolutely incredible defense for this team and has saved a couple big goals. And in their first overtime game against the Vegas Golden Knights, he saved the game on multiple occasions with stick lifts on shots that would have been open nets for Vegas in overtime, and the game could have ended multiple times. And even in the 1-0 overtime win to clinch the series, there was multiple times where Nurse backchecked so hard on an odd man rush that he was able to stick lift a player for Vegas and save the Oilers the game. And he's also had 2 big, very timely goals for Edmonton, and it's been really refreshing after how poorly he played last season to see him step up and really be a quality defenseman for this team. On the other hand, Evan Bouchard has been very up and down throughout this playoffs, and against Vegas, he was much more steady defensively, but he also has 4 goals for this team, and he had a 2-goal game, and he's been clicking on all cylinders offensively. But the one thing that Edmonton really needs to correct going into the next series, whether it be against Winnipeg or Dallas, is their power play, especially on the road. They still have not scored a road power play goal through 2 rounds of the playoffs, and That's complete opposite play of what they have had throughout the past few seasons, where they've struggled at times in 5-on-5, but been really good on the power play. But this season, they've really struggled on the power play, but they've been incredible 5-on-5. And I believe they're the best team 5-on-5 in the entire playoffs right now. And for them to really take the next step in the Western Conference Final, if they can get their power play clicking as well as maintaining the 5-on-5 prowess that they've showed through the first two rounds, this team will be very hard to stop offensively. And now they have two goalies that are clicking on all cylinders, and you can ride Stuart Skinner until he falls off. And even if he starts to struggle later on in this next series, you have a guy in Calvin Picker that should be coming back, and he can pick up the slack where Stuart Skinner lets off. And if the Edmonton Oilers can get Mattias Ekholm back for this third round series at any point and for a potential Stanley Cup final series, that would be huge for Edmonton's defense. And I don't see a team beating a fully healthy Oilers team in the Western Conference final or even the Stanley Cup final. If they play any of the four teams in the Eastern Conference, whether that be um, Carolina, Toronto, or Florida, and I guess now the eliminated Washington Capitals, they had a chance of beating every single one of those teams. And to show that prowess against all four of those teams would be incredible because there's storylines for each one. Let me know if you think the Oilers will make the Stanley Cup final and if they have a chance to win a cup this season with McDavid and Draisaitl playing as well as they have. God bless you all. Have an amazing day and make sure to subscribe to the channel. God bless.